You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Howdy do, buckaroos, and welcome to Comics for My Kids podcast, the official podcast for comicscornerbox.blogspot.com. I'm your host, Matt D. And with me today is
Melody D.
Today we're reviewing a book that we picked up at the Northwest Indiana Comic Con. We are reviewing
The Last Unicorn in the Realm of Monsters.
Alright, Melody. Why did you choose this particular?
Because I really liked the whole idea of this unicorn being the last one and being in some new place.
Okay. Well, The Last Unicorn is written and drawn by Jacinto Gonzalez. And if I butchered the first name, I'm terribly sorry. I assume he also goes by Jack because I got a business card from him. It's Jack Gonzalez. Jacinto. Anyway, so the last Unicorn in the Realm of Monsters is actually the second book in a series that I found out.
It is?
Yep. It's published by Guerrilla Publishing based out of Gary, Indiana. The editor is Ben Miller. So, Melody, why don't you break down the story of The Last Unicorn?
Alright, so The Last Unicorn is a book about, obviously, a unicorn. And it's not quite the last one because its name is Melvin, the boy, by the way. I'm just gonna go by he. And, Melvin does have a mom in this book. She's not mentioned much, but she can turn into a human, so that's why it's called The Last Unicorn, because it's the only unicorn that can't turn into a human.
Okay.
Yet, because it's so small. And, anyways, so it's about this one story part where this big, monster thing appears out of her closet.
I believe he's supposed to be a boogeyman.
A boogeyman.
And just like in Monsters, Inc., he comes to the last unicorn through his closet.
Yeah. And his name is Babu, so I'm just gonna go with his name. And, it's about Babu and Melvin. They become friends eventually in this book. But, first, Babu comes to his sister, Yaga? What's her name? Yeah. Yaga.
Okay, so Babu is Yaga's sister. When you say his sister, you mean Babu. Also, you might want to mention, let's back up just a little bit. So Babu comes into the last unicorn's room when he's sleeping and kind of scares him. And Babu is surprised to discover that the person that he's scaring is actually a unicorn. So he gets in his mind that, hey, I know that unicorns are very popular and I can probably,
Not popular, Dad.
No?
They're very rare. Because if they were popular, everyone would see them and it wouldn't be a big deal.
True. So they
but if it was rare like it is, then everybody would want one. So he comes to his sister Yaga, and so that he doesn't have to be a boogeyman anymore, he is going to give the unicorn to his sister to take the boss to eat. Well, during this, he actually becomes friends with this unicorn. And he actually becomes friends with the unicorn, so he doesn't want to do this now. But then Yaga are to keep up with him, and then he has to fight Yaga. And so we kind of go through this little battle, and he hits a bee's nest, so then Yaga gets hit by bees and stuff. Now she's far behind.
Well, now, Babu, what he fights, what does he use?
Fire.
Fire magic. Because in their realm, they use magic. We back up a little bit from the beginning. He used magic to
burn a flower.
Everybody's seen him use magic in a normal setting, so he had to go to his sister because he was going to be God. That's how he gets involved with stealing the last unicorn.
No, he was going to get punished because he doesn't like his job.
Right.
And anyway, so now Babu's kind of lost in the forest with the unicorn. He wants to bring her back. He wants to bring Melvin back home, but his portal thingy broke, so he can't do that quickly. So he has to go to a different place to try and find a portal to get Melvin back home and safe. Well, in the process of that, he actually walks in the wrong direction, and he comes to the Master.
The Master's like the guy's in charge of all the monsters in this monster.
Yes, we're gonna call him the Blob, because he kind of looks like he's almost made out of, like, oil or something.
Gotcha.
It's just blobby. Anyways, so they got led in the wrong direction there. And, now the Master finds out that, hey, there's a unicorn near me, and he wants to eat it. But he forgets, if you eat a unicorn without its blood being, like, purified or something like that, then then it could kill you. And so, as soon as he ate the unicorn ended up inside of him and was kind of scared because it was so cold in there. But then he found somebody in the Master. I don't remember the name of this person, so I'm not gonna say it. And, this person inside of the Master just likes to torture anything that comes in there. Kind of a cool person. But luckily, Melvin, manages to get out because, the unicorn's blood starts to slowly deteriorate the Master. And so they, end up falling out. So,
well, I don't think we should reveal too much more. We want the people to be able to read the book.
Yep.
So.
And end up falling out soon. That's where I'm going to put a stop button at, because, there's kind of some cool main points after this part, so I'm going to stop.
Yeah, as I say, let's put pen in that. So, Melly, what did you think of the artwork in the book?
It was fun. It was kind of cartoony, and I would have, never thought of how to draw a unicorn. Before, I would always be like, oh, do I draw this way, this way? Do I have to draw a horse first? But they did it kind of simple, and I liked the way they did it. Because it was kind of like a cartoon unicorn, and it was really interesting.
Kind of reminds me of, plush unicorns. It doesn't have, your standard unicorn kind of face. It's more bulby. So I would think
more round, like a fish.
But the monsters were really neat, really good. How they were drawn, especially Babbo. Because he had, one arm that had, a skeleton hand to it. He used that to, use his fire magic. So
Yaga also has fire magic, except she looks like a human until she takes her true form. Which I'm not going to mention because it is yet very adorable and also very cool. So I'm going to put pause on it so you want to read the book. It's very cute, so you must read the book.
It's a very fun story. It definitely has some elements to Monsters, Inc. It's also got a fun story about friendship. Not judging the book by its cover.
Also, what I want to say is, if you say Monsters, Inc., it doesn't really make sense because, almost every movie where some sort of monster is going to attack you is through the closet door. So, it's not just Monsters, Inc. Right. Besides, everybody has the most terrifying thing, because when they're in bed, even me, I have to stare at my closet, and sometimes I leave it, half open, and it looks like there's something actually in there. And then my jackets get, all curled up so it looks like someone's head, and it's just and I can never fall asleep. Kind of creepy.
Alright, now, well.
Anyways, back on topic.
Let's rate this book. So our rating is buy, borrow,
buy.
Or bust.
I'm so bust. No, buy.
Buy, yeah. It's definitely worth buy.
Don't bust it.
Since we bought it on Saturday.
I dropped it.
Since we bought it on Saturday.
5. As a minimum.
So yeah, it's definitely worth rereading over and over. said the artwork is very cartoony, but it's a fun read for kids.
I just have a question in general. If
yes,
that's the second book, what's
yes.
the first one?
The Last Unicorn. So it's by Guerrilla Publishing. I'm sure we can go online and we can order it.
Alright, and then can we order book 3, 4, 5, and 6, and so on?
Well, 2 just came out, but I had.
Then what's with the ID one? Is that the first one? Oh, you didn't mention that. I thought there were 3 books now.
No, there's 2. It's last.
I thought it was the Last Unicorn and the ID.
What?
ID. Capital I-D-S.
Where did you see that?
The Comic-Con. It was a pink cover book.
Well, I'll look into it because I have no idea what ID is. I don't know.
Maybe it's some sort of acronym for some special monster. Who knows? Google it. Be very specific.
Well, is there anything else you want to say about the Last Unicorn?
Other than it's really cute? No.
Okay.
Not.
Well, folks, thanks for listening to this episode. Let's check out more episodes at box.blogspot.com.
Leave us a rating or a review at Apple Podcast or Podchaser.
Follow us on Twitter for all of our episode posts and news about Comics with Kids.
Also, check out our Facebook page, Comics with My Kids, and Instagram.
And hey, guess what? We're also on YouTube Music. Check us out there as well.
Yay!
Thanks, and have a great day.
The answer to the question in our previous episode was Michael Jackson.